This video podcast is brought to you by McCarter Online.
One of the things that just listening to you talk about that is that you started out as a performer and kind of came to playwriting in a kind of evolutionary way, if I could say that. So what's that like? You're used to creating your own words and performing your own words, and now you're sitting back and you're watching all of these other people interpret what you've put on the page.
I just feel like, you know, the kind of stories that I want to explore right now, it's important for me to sit back and look at it. You know what I mean? When you're performing, because I've always been a writer, but like Mara said, it's been writing and performing. You know what I mean? So when you're writing and performing, you know, I'm here with you, right? So I see it this way. You know, this is the energy. But sometimes I'm missing things because I'm seeing it from this perspective. You know? Now, if I'm sitting here with you, ma'am, I'm sorry, I know people don't get this, and I'm here, or I'm over here, you know, sitting with this gentleman here, there's a certain perspective in the scope, you know what I mean, that you get that you just don't get up on stage. It's not better, it's just, I feel like Oprah right now. It's not better, it's just different. You know, it's just different. And so I kind of feel like some of the stories that I feel like I'm supposed to be telling right now, I just needed that distance. It's not like I'm done with performing. I think I might go back, you know, and do it some more one of these days, but I think that's where I am right now. And also it just gives me more flexibility, you know. One of the precious things with theater is that it's happening live, obviously, and it's happening right there. And so when I'm performing, if I was performing in, you know, Denver, I couldn't be here with you. But with plays, I'm hoping, you know, if you have a play going, I can also be doing some good work over here. Or I could be with my family. It can take on a life of its own outside of you as the performer. So, you know, yeah. And, you know, it took some work. I mean, you know, if you're a good performer, sometimes your writing doesn't have to be as good. I mean, you know what I mean? It can, you know what I mean? You can be good, but it's kind of like, if you're a good performer, it's the whole experience. But so what I've been trying to work on these last 3 or 4 years is really trying to become a better writer, where you don't have to necessarily see me performing or see someone performing to get it. You know, because that was always my crush before. People would be like, you know, you need to see it perform. Like on the page, it was okay, but you need to see it perform. And that's part of what theater is about. But I also wanted it to live on the page. I wanted to have a strength to itself.
Although there is something about your writing, whether you're performing it or not, I think this is definitely true of Fetch Clay, that it just, it demands to be three-dimensional.
Right,
it doesn't,
right.
You know, some writers, the words lay on the page in such a way that can be a satisfying experience.
Right.
Your writing is inherently theatrical.
You can see it, right. That's interesting, Well, I'm glad I'm in theater then. It's a good place. You know, it's interesting you say that too, because I kind of feel like, there's this guy named Robert McKee. He's like this amazing storyteller. He has this book called Story, which is, anyone who wants to tell stories should read this book. Anyway, so he talks about the difference, but I never thought about this until I read this. He talks about the difference between a novel, a play, and a movie. And he said what the novel excels at would be stories between the character and conflicts between the character and him or herself in their mind. You know, not that it can't be between other people or the environment, but that's really where it excels. And how you experience it. Also, you know, you sit on the couch, you get some tea, get some coffee, you know, and you read your novel, you know, so it's a very intimate experience. He said a movie excels at the character in conflict with the environment, you know, like a chase scene. And he said a theater excels at the conflicts and kind of stories where it's character in conflict with other people, you know. He's like, and if it's done well, the theater, it can do it better than a movie or a novel in that way. So it made sense because the kind of things that I'm interested in would be conflicts and issues between people, family members, community members. And you experience that live in a live ritual setting. So anyway, I ought to say it makes sense that this is what I like to do and that it, you know, it lives more on the stage.
This podcast has been brought to you by McCarter Theater in Princeton, New Jersey. For tickets, call 609-258-ARTS or visit www.mccarter.org.